Food poverty may not be the first thing that comes to mind when thinking about the county of Sussex, but charities such as fairshare know that it is a lot closer to home than we may initially think. With the support of volunteers, fairshare is able to redistribute surplus and unwanted food, saving it from going into landfill and instead onto the plates of families and people struggling with food poverty. fairshare estimate that 3.9 million tonnes of food is wasted every year by the food and drink industry, and it is thought that 10% of this food is surplus and still fit for consumption. It is even enough food for 800 million meals. I spoke to the volunteers at fairshare Sussex to see if they thought the supermarkets disregarded food that could still be sold, resulting in food waste. Ashley Akinbadi believes the supermarket guidelines are not lenient enough and more needs to be done to educate people about the shelf life of food they buy.
Fairshare are really helpful because obviously there's less food waste than there would be, and supermarkets and stuff, they have like super specific criterias about food, which means that a lot of it gets wasted. So they'll say a carrot needs to be 10 centimetres, and if it's like 10.5 they'll throw it away. So fairshare is really good because they'll give it to us and we'll take it on and give it to someone who will actually eat it, and we don't have as intense a criteria for food waste. There should be education letting people know that yes, these best before dates are there for your safety, but you can be a bit lenient, I think.
Gurdon Murdoch also thinks that the overproduction of food has a role to play in food waste.
It's really an eye-opener to see how much, I find it very sad, food is actually not sold. So there's overproduction, particularly because there's so many people who are in need of food and don't get it. It's not just in the UK, but across the world. So to see that our society is prepared to waste so much food, or the businesses within our society are prepared to waste so much food, is shocking, really. There's a big debate going on at the moment about sell-by dates or use-by dates and best before dates, and what does it all mean. So I don't think we all understand fully what that means, and within the households we could be throwing away food that is perfectly okay. I think I know, but maybe I don't. There isn't enough, I think, official guidelines in terms of that.
Because of fairshare, surplus food is able to be redistributed to food banks. The Whitehall Food Bank, in particular, has seen an increase in people seeking help. This could be because more people are trusting food banks, or purely because there has been a rise in food poverty. Gurdon Murdoch believes food poverty is a delicate subject, and it is something that is not discussed openly.
I think it's a lot of people, I think I would be like that. I wouldn't kind of publicise to anyone that I am struggling. You know, people have pride, and things might have happened in their lives that have caused this crisis, and it's not something you shout off the top of the roofs, because people feel they don't want other people to know. And therefore the poverty continues.
Andy Frith sees the subject of food poverty as an issue that is very political, with the government being partly to blame.
I think it's poverty myself. You know, I'm old enough. I've lived down in Brighton for about 30 years, and I'm old enough. When I first moved down here, Tories were in government. Mrs. Thatcher was in government, and there were lots and lots of people sleeping on the streets, lots of people destitute and without food and without incomes, and you could see all that on the streets, and things did improve under the Labour Party. People are not being given fair benefits. I know they should be encouraged to go to work, but they've turned the screw too much. Charities are now the safety net. If charities like fairshare are not here, I don't know what would happen. You know, people would potentially starve in the 21st century in Britain.
The safety net of fairshare and food banks around Brighton are relied upon by members of the community who may be struggling to afford food. The reasonings for food poverty varies from each person's situation and cannot be pinpointed. However, fairshare are able to help those in need as well as prevent food from going to waste. Rebecca Whitaker, reporting from fairshare Sussex in Brighton.